Property manager settings rights. Within OneSite, we have allowed property managers to have several rights for some of the settings for different modules. You're going to find those rights if you select your menu options and proceed down into the administration area. And on the left-hand side, you'll see affordable processing. And here you can actually adjust the recertification notices setup. This is a question that compliance gets pretty frequently. How do I change the interview information on my recertification notice? Whether that's the contact name, the dates, the times available. You have access to this setup right from affordable processing. Again, that is the annual recertification notices setup. If I keep scrolling down, you do also have access to the affordable settings with regard to the letter recipients. These are the recipients that populate when you are creating a verification letter in OneSite. You do have access to add a new recipient from this window. You can also edit any of the recipients where you'd like to change some of the information that is populating onto your verification forms. Or you can select more and deactivate. So if you're discovering that you have multiple recipients that are the same company and you want to consolidate that into one listing, you can deactivate any of those duplicates yourself. Another piece of settings I want to take your attention to is facilities. You'll see under that facilities area there's a view settings link. And the first one is recurring service requests. So if you do have something on site that needs to be done on a recurring basis, whether that is daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, semi-annually, you can set those recurring service requests up and it will automatically create a service request upon the schedule that you create here. So that could be landscaping, it could be checking an HVAC, replacing batteries, etc. You also have access to information about service request details, so items associated. If you have items at your site that are not already in the list, you can add these from this facilities settings area. So select the category, click find, and you'll see the items that we have added or that are automatically populated from real page. You can use the new to create a new item if you need to. You can also add in different parts that are associated with items. So for example, if there is a part that is used for correcting a service issue that is not listed, you can add that part in here for tracking purposes, and that will allow your super or your technicians to enter in that part that was used. If you're feeling very adventurous, you can also go into the service issues. So if there is something wrong with the item, the clothes dryer here in this example, you can add in a service issue that we did not think of. You'll see it does give options for an estimated completion time, which at this time we're not entering. However, it is something that we would encourage technicians and supers to begin reporting back on how long an estimated completion time is. You can also add in any equipment that will be needed so that the maintenance personnel are aware of what they may need to be taking with them. Along with those issues, you can also create the actions to correct the issues. So along with the clothes dryer belt broken, there's a replaced dryer belt. Again, if there's an action that is not in the list that was done, you can select new and enter that in here. Generally, we are entering in no charge to the resident unless it is a resident damage issue. But for the most part, we're using 0 in the facility settings for the resident charge, and then handling any resident charges directly with the resident ledger. Very similarly to the service request items, you also have access to settings regarding assets. So assets are going to be your big items at your property: refrigerators, cabinetry, flooring, boilers, HVAC units, etc. So we have our different asset makes, manufacturers. We have colors, conditions, not working, poor, fair, good. So generally that's going to be a very normal item. But if we are missing a make for an asset that you have, you can add that in there. You can also manage your maintenance staff. So the work groups, there may be a few work groups in here, generally maintenance tech. You can then go into technicians and add in any technicians or disable people who no longer work at your property. You'll simply select new, add in their first name, last name. If they have been given a OneSite login, you can select their name from the drop-down box, and that will allow them to view their service requests that have been assigned to them using the facilities mobile app if your property has that enabled. If you have multiple work groups, you'll be able to select which work group that staff member is associated with and click Save to save them. You can opt to auto-assign specific items to a specific maintenance staff member. If you have a large maintenance staff, perhaps you have certain people who are specialized for certain tasks. So if there is an issue, for example, with the range, you can opt to assign this to a specific person. And every time that a service request is created with that issue, that person is going to be populated as the maintenance tech that this is assigned to. Those are the general settings that property managers have access to that we get questions on quite frequently. If you have any questions or you're uncomfortable about accessing and doing any of the settings maintenance, please reach out to your compliance analyst and we are happy to assist you.